right, everybody. Again, my name is Rahn, and appreciate being here. I appreciate everybody that's coming together, because again, we don't have to be here, and the fact that people have came out to really show solidarity and their commitment to change, it's a beautiful situation, and none of us should take that for granted. But tonight we'll be talking about the criminalization of black men, black young men, and things of that nature.
Speak, brother.
And the situation is, this is not anything new. This has been rooted very deeply in the fabric of our nation. I mean, if we take it all the way back to slavery, when you're dealing with how they used to call us infidels and savages to justify slavery, or we're dealing with the Reconstruction period, when we had the vagrant laws and it was literally illegal to not have a job, you know what I'm saying, and it was cause for punishment by jail time. Or we could continue with the Birth of a Nation, the movie, when, you know, the images were put out there where it was really just about showing black males as predators, and that led to the rise of the Ku Klux Klan and things of that nature. Or we could fast forward and we could start talking about the criminalization of a lot of the different activists during the civil rights movement. I mean, it's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? This is something that's been going on. We can even talk about the crack epidemic or the prison boom, or even the images of today, where when you're dealing, like I say, I talk about hip-hop a lot, where how they snatch the consciousness out and only invest in the foolishness, you know what I'm saying? So when we're dealing with this criminalization of black males, it is nothing new. This is something that's been going on. It's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Yep. So, but one thing about this, like when we see Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and all these other young brothers, Sean Bill and the whole list, this is the time that wakes us up, and it's time to galvanize and understand that this is an opportunity to be reminded of what we're dealing with. Because I do different presentations, and we can talk about statistics and show how we're actually going backwards, but it looks like we're going forward because of the images that's put out there. So when we start talking about this, the thing is, anybody that understands the bully mentality, you never get a bully off your neck by trying to beg and plead with him, and hopefully he gets some kind of moral revelation and he'll stop whooping on you and snatching your lunch money and all that. It don't happen that way. The only way it's going to happen is through self-empowerment. Amen. You know, self-empowerment. When we say self-empowerment, we're talking about community empowerment. Like everybody that's been up here, I love what they've been doing, because they address the negative, but they also take responsibility that we got to do better. So when we talk about this situation, it's been clear. I mean, the Trayvon Martin situation is the most clearest of all, because we're not even dealing with law enforcement. We're dealing with a guy, just a regular random guy who killed this kid, and it showed the country that it is literally legal to kill a black man. It is legal. Long as you can say you fearful, it's okay to kill a black man. It is literally legal. So what I want to just really talk about is self-empowerment. I'm very solution-based, so I'm going to definitely talk about some solutions. But another situation that I want to just really mention when we're talking about the legality of killing a black man, this officer, was it Officer Wilson? From right now, what we're seeing, he hasn't raised. His community has raised 425,000 and counting. They raised so much money. The first fundraiser, that they had to shut that page down and open up another page under a charity so they could get tax write-offs for supporting this man. You see what I'm saying? And the key is that is a community situation where they're showing their support for his murderous act. Their community are together and they're saying, we support you killing that young man. That is what's being done. So when we're dealing with these, like the rallies, this is beautiful. The rallies, the protests, and the marching, I say this all the time, this is great. But this is only a pep rally. This is all this is. And we have to understand that the pep rally is to just get us ready for the game. When you go to high school and you go to a pep rally, that wasn't the event. You know, that was to get our mind right that we got a big game this weekend or whatever. This is the pep rally. So now the question is, what are we going to do once the pep rally is over? Once we start putting the signs down and the media attention is gone, and you know there's no more outcry and all that, what are we going to do? So one of the things that I really considered us doing is we need to change our own self-image. We can't worry about all the images that's being put out there. We have to change our self-image. Like something very small is just changing how we address each other, particularly in the black community. When we say that, what we call the N-word. If we just replace that with brother, that would change so much. I saw that in the documentary one time. If I say, hey, let's go ride on these, you know, it's easy. But if I say, let's go kill these brothers, I mean, it doesn't even flow right. I'm going to kill a brother. It doesn't even make sense. So what we have to do is we have to start changing our own self-imagery. We have to make a commitment to community empowerment. Another thing that I really believe that we need to do is we need to make a commitment in our own way of what community empowerment looks like. And what I mean by that is, like, for those that go to church, you know you have to pay a tithe. Well, you don't have to. You know, they ask you to pay a tithe. You know, some churches they do, but generally you don't have to. You know, and you pay a tithe. We need to do the same thing with our commitment to community empowerment. And when I say paying a tithe, I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about tithing our talents and our time. You know what I'm saying? Every week we should be reevaluating, saying, what have I done this week? Have I done anything for the community? I don't care if it's just really just sitting down and seeing some young man and you can tell he's lost, and you just take the time to talk to him. Or go volunteer for being a mentor, or whatever your gift is. I'm not one to tell you what you should be doing, you know, specifically. You know what your gifts are. But we should all be tithing our time and our talents for community involvement and community empowerment. These are things that happen after the pep rally. You know, also, we need to support people that we know that are doing the work. Again, when we look at this situation, we get mad and we say, man, the people done raised $425,000. That's $500,000. But what they were saying is they support him. So all these different people that's out here frontlining, they've been doing it for years. Support them. Support them. Whether it's taking them out to lunch, I mean something. Do something. Support them when they have events, different things. Support the people that's doing the work, because it's going to take all of us. Again, this is the pep rally. And the last thing as I wrap it up, we have to, as for those that work with youth, we have to really deal with character development. You know, we mentioned the youth curriculum and things like that. We have to deal with character development. When you look, I remember the sister that was up here earlier, she said she's a history teacher. I also love history. And one of the greatest things that I've seen in all the different great civilizations is they focused on character development. That's one thing we don't do. We focus on behavior, we focus on academics, and they have all this information for those. I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen young men that's literally getting A's and B's, straight A's and you know, B's and 3.0 and end up in prison. Literally. Just throw it all away. Because they had all this information, but they didn't have character development. And that's going to take some time when we start dealing with the schools and things like that. But we have to start focusing on that. And the last thing I want to say is when we're dealing with the black community, this is something that's not really talked about. I don't even know if it's even noticed. But the black male and the black woman have only been full citizens since 1965. Just think about that. Slavery ended in 1865. But we had another 100 years of Jim Crow. So we were still second-class citizens. We've only got our full citizenship in 1965. 15 years after that, the crack epidemic came. So we only have 15 years to try to get our mind right. 15 years. So it's going to take us to do certain things. For us to sit and wait, you could keep seeing it. We could keep waiting all day for this moral revelation to take place. It won't happen. We have to empower ourselves. So with that being said, I love seeing everybody out here. I hope we just continue to galvanize and use this energy and mobilize and do something great for the community. Peace, y'all.
All right. All right.